Sophia sat in the back of the lecture hall, her notebook open but her mind elsewhere. The professor was discussing the history of art movements, but her thoughts were tangled in her own doubts. She had always dreamed of becoming an artist, but lately she felt as if her passion was slipping through her fingers. "I'm not good enough," Sophia thought, glancing around at her classmates. They seemed so confident, so sure of their path. In contrast, Sophia felt like an imposter, unsure of where her future was heading. After the lecture, Sophia met with her friend James, who always seemed to know how to brighten her day. "You look like you've got a lot on your mind," James said, sitting next to her on the steps outside the building. "I don't know what I'm doing with my life," Sophia admitted, her voice filled with frustration. "I love art, but it feels like I'm just wasting my time. Everyone else seems to know where they're going, and I'm stuck here." James smiled knowingly. "Sophia, everyone has their own journey. You just need to trust yours. You're an amazing artist, and you need to believe in yourself. Sometimes the path isn't clear, but that doesn't mean you're lost." Sophia sighed, feeling a mixture of comfort and doubt. James was always supportive, but the fear of failure weighed heavily on her shoulders. How could she follow her dreams when she didn't even know where to start? A few days later, Sophia attended an art seminar organized by her university. The guest speaker was Professor Green, a renowned artist known for her unique style and wisdom. Sophia had heard of her, but she had never imagined meeting her in person. After the seminar, students had the opportunity to ask questions. Sophia hesitated for a moment before raising her hand. "Professor Green," she began nervously, "I'm passionate about art, but I feel lost. I don't know if I'm good enough to make a career out of it. How do you stay motivated when it feels like nothing is going the way you want?" Professor Green paused, her wise eyes scanning the room before she answered. "Art, like life, is not about perfection. It's about expression. It's about learning to embrace failure and using it to grow. Every artist, no matter how accomplished, has faced challenges and doubts. But what sets them apart is their willingness to continue, to evolve, and to keep creating despite the obstacles." Sophia felt a spark of hope. She had never heard it put quite like that before. Maybe failure wasn't something to fear. It was something to learn from. Over the following weeks, Sophia began to embrace her passion for art once again. She spent hours in the studio, experimenting with different techniques and styles. At first, her work didn't turn out as she had hoped. Her paintings were messy, her sketches lacked detail, and her confidence wavered. But every time she felt discouraged, she remembered Professor Green's words: "Embrace failure." One afternoon, while working on a piece that she had been struggling with for days, Sophia felt a surge of frustration. "I'll never get this right," she muttered to herself, throwing down her brush. James, who had been visiting the campus, walked in and saw the frustration on her face. "Sophia, remember what you told me when I was feeling down? You said it's okay to not have everything figured out. This is part of your journey." Sophia smiled weakly. "I know, but it's hard. I feel like I'm not making any progress." James sat down beside her, watching her work. "Look at this piece. It's not perfect, but it's yours. And that's what matters. Every stroke, every mistake, It's all part of you growing as an artist. Sophia stared at the painting for a moment, her perspective shifting. She realized that she wasn't just painting a picture. She was expressing herself, her feelings, her struggles. It wasn't about creating something flawless. It was about the process. One evening, Sophia stayed late in the studio, trying to complete a piece for an upcoming art exhibition. She had been working on it for weeks, but something still felt off. She stepped back, looked at the canvas, and sighed. As if by instinct, she grabbed a different color of paint and began adding bold strokes. The colors didn't blend perfectly, but something about it felt right. The chaos on the canvas mirrored the chaos she had felt inside. The more she worked, the more she realized that this wasn't just a painting. It was a reflection of her journey. Sophia finished the piece just as the sun began to rise, casting a warm glow over the studio. She looked at it with a sense of accomplishment, not because it was perfect, but because it represented her growth. The day of the exhibition arrived, and Sophia stood nervously by her painting, waiting for the visitors to arrive. When the first group of people approached her work, she overheard a conversation. "This piece is so raw, so full of emotion," one of the visitors said. "It feels like it's telling a story." Sophia's heart swelled with pride. For the first time, she realized that her art wasn't just about technique or perfection. It was about connecting with others, sharing her story. Later that evening, Sophia met with James at a cafe to celebrate the exhibition. As they sat sipping their drinks, Sophia reflected on everything she had learned. "I've learned so much over the past few months," Sophia said thoughtfully. "Art isn't just about creating something beautiful. It's about expressing who I am, flaws and all. And maybe that's what life is about, too. It's about embracing the journey, even when we don't know where we're headed." James smiled. "You've come a long way, Sophia. I'm proud of you." Sophia smiled back, her heart full of gratitude. She still didn't have all the answers, and she still faced challenges, but she had discovered something important. The journey to self-discovery was never about having everything figured out. It was about learning, growing, and trusting the process. And with that, Sophia knew she had found her purpose. The path ahead was uncertain, but it was hers to walk. The story of Sophia's journey to self-discovery is a reflection of how personal growth is a gradual process. Through embracing failure, learning from mistakes, and trusting the journey, she finds her purpose. The story conveys that the path to self-discovery is unique for everyone, and it's the process of growth and learning that truly matters.